Hello and welcome to Sound Paint Christmas Edition. If you celebrate Christmas, then you are quite excited, hopefully, that tomorrow is Christmas.
It's practically here.
Today's episode is going to be short and sweet because let's be honest, you got places to go. You got presents to wrap. I'm sure plenty of other things to do, cooking. I know I have wrapping to do. It's a lot. So we're going to talk today about Vince Guaraldi's Christmas Time is Here. Now, if you're like me and you've grown up watching Charlie Brown Christmas, you're going to know exactly where this song came from and not just something that you hear on the radio. My personal favorite version is the Toni Braxton rendition, but don't mention that to jazz diehards. So, Vince Guaraldi's version is incredible and it's amazing, but I love what other people do with it. Now, the reason that it's so amazing is that the bones of it, the structure, the foundation, these chords are just so beautiful and they're so good. We're going to play around with them. In Ableton, I chose this little piano. It's a jazz piano. This is in the key, well, you could call it the key of F major. Our first chord here we have, and this is going to be a lot of theory because to really appreciate this, I want to break it down a little bit. I will explain things as much as possible for those of you that aren't into music theory and music in general or playing it, but oh, good grief. Good grief. There we go, Charlie Brown.
Good grief.
We have this little arpeggio, which I can't reach. I don't have that kind of a stretch. Oh my gosh, what is that? The distance from this F all the way up to this A is a tenth. I do not have a tenth reach, but listen to that sound, that interval. It's beautiful. And then we expound on it by adding this E and then an E as an octave. If you have not watched my last podcast, I was talking about songs in minor keys. And I kind of butchered Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I made it like Rudolph the Horror Story Reindeer. It wasn't that scary, but I made it all minor and creepy, and it's really cool. But I was putting everything in A minor. And if I were to just examine what's going on in my right hand, you could melt into it. That, my friends, is an A minor chord. A, C, and E. A, C, and E. But it's in reverse. It's E, C, and A. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. With this F thing in the bass, I'm just gonna play F and C because I can. But all together, it makes an F major 7 chord, which is just beautiful. But just wait, we're not done because we go on to this gargantuan chord where we have E flat and D flat in the bass. But not at the same time. Not at the same time because we have to play this in the right hand. Now this is like some gymnastics right here. That's a mouthful. It's a fingerful. It's a handful. All right, I have to give myself a little bit of credit here. This is not the version that I grew up playing on the piano. My mom's copy that I would always steal from her because Vince Guaraldi is like her favorite jazz composer. Good enough. And then it kind of does a slight variation of the next chord where it's like now we have E and A and an octave, which I wasn't really playing before because I couldn't reach that. And then we go back to that monstrosity of a chord. It's just beautiful. You really have to just appreciate it one chord at a time. And then we get this cool arpeggio. You know what that is? That's an A minor chord inverted. So instead of playing A, C, E, I'm playing C, E, A. And it just leads up to this higher E. E natural. And we get this chord again. Oh, that's a little jazziness, the little blues. A little bit of theory. I said we're in the key of F major, but when a song is overall minor in sound, and we have been heavily leaning in a minor direction, you can do this thing. It's a bluesy trick where the fifth note of the minor half of it. So if we're in F major, something called its relative minor would be D minor. So in D minor, the fifth note up. So D, E, F, G, A. So that A gets flatted, and that's how you get this. Now on my paper, on what you see on the screen, you see a G sharp, which is actually a little inaccurate. I mean, you know, that's whoever wrote this down. Fine, you can write it that way. But technically, if we're in the key of D minor, that should be a flatted fifth note, in which case that would be an A flat, not a G sharp, but it's the same note. You're just calling it two different names. And we're back to A minor. The important part that I wanted you to really absorb and enjoy is I said I was going to make this a short video, and I intend to not keep you too very long, but have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones, listen to some really good Christmas music, and think about the theory that went into it. And pity the poor musicians who are not piano players who still try to pull it off, because this one's a beast. All right. I think I'm going to go practice the bass now and just play some one-liners. But Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, but I'll probably see you next week. Take a minute, enjoy, relax, and really, as always, what better way to relax than to listen to some good music? All right, bye.